Okay. These two teams, Hammertime, won against top tier. Fnatic defeated #RU.
Yeah.
Fnatic still undefeated right now. Impeccable team. Hammertime, they've had their hits and misses, but they've really started to lock things in together. And I feel that they will perform better compared to the last time they fought against Fnatic. But what was the matchup last time?
Last time, Hammertime fought Fnatic and went 1-3. Hammertime getting 1, Fnatic getting 3. It began on Cliffs, which was a draw. Went to Ensk, which went to Fnatic. Following that, Mines, which went to Hammertime. Then Prokhorovka to Fnatic. Following that, Himmelsdorf to Fnatic. And it was a tight match at times, but Fnatic ultimately comes out ahead.
Yeah.
They seem to have such a lead all the time that it's difficult for them to go to even match or battle number 5. Hammertime getting them there all the way to battle number 5 is just that impressive.
That was the first match for both those teams. It was the first match they had in Season 4. And the tension was very high, even though the action wasn't very fast.
Yeah.
It was because they were just meeting each other step by step to counter each other's movements.
Yeah.
But both these teams had quite the journey. We saw the journey of Hammertime when they had their first match against top tier. But let's take a look at the journey of Fnatic through the division.
Fnatic proved they are the most dangerous team with their run through Season 4.
My expectation for Fnatic in Season 4 is number 1. That's it. We're not messing around this season.
Week 1, they faced Hammertime, proving to be one of their closest matches.
And nice shot from a distance from Friction.
One more hit, and he goes down.
And Fnatic is able to capture the base. They're able to take the series 3-1.
Week 2, they went up against River of Blood, displaying a perfect 3-minute push on Ensk.
Doesn't fire. It's Soviet from behind. And 5 seconds left. Friction gets the kill. And he gets the kill. Boom! Shakalaka from Fnatic.
Their next two opponents, the Googly Bobbers and Gong Fu, fell 3-0.
I want to not drop a single game in the entire season. That's my goal. I want to play cold, professional, in a way that just makes people terrified.
He's dancing. Dodges another shot. Down he falls. Jackie Rudo gets it.
Halfway through the season, Fnatic was undefeated. Their next challenger, the Cunninghams.
Trireme might be able to pick up a kill. Comps goes down.
Silent.
So you can save him.
Yes, he does.
After winning their first ever tiebreaker, Fnatic battled with Refuse to Die.
Blocking the perfect shot. Friction's able to get it though.
Rounding the corner. Takes out a bag of kittens. So here comes Antonio Handsome with full rounds, full shells, gets the shot, gets the kill. Fnatic gets the win, 3-0.
Week 7 brought them up against Bernal Empires.
Can he get the kill? He does. Coming around the corner, could go up against G-Forcer. He will. G-Forcer falls.
Well, Bernal Empires just not able to do it.
Fnatic secured first place in the Bravo division.
First place, and they want to keep that undefeated record as they move on in the playoffs. And we have both team representatives from Hammertime and Fnatic joining us tonight in the face-off. Gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the playoffs in the winners match. Hammertime, Son of Hail, let's start with you. That series against top tier was super close. 210 hit point difference to allow you to get the choice. What was comms like for your team with that type of tension?
Man, it was intense. Like, I wasn't even in the match, but they were just going crazy. Get off cap, get off cap. I mean, they were just going all out, I guess.
Yeah, that get off cap call was so huge. The reasoning behind that, not getting the flat cap, but getting those tank kills, that was probably the best choice you guys could have made. But now moving on against Fnatic, the tension, I'm sure, has not been relieved at all against this team. Were your type of preparation moving to the playoffs, I'm sure this was a high probability you'd face this team. You guys have faced this team in the past. What is your attitude? What is the vibe right now for the team going up against Fnatic?
You know, we're really hopeful, and, you know, the morale is up, and, you know, we're just going to play our best. You know, we're just going to do what we do. I mean, we've been practicing. we haven't really changed our practice, but we're going in with an open mind, and we're just gonna play it out.
I'm seeing the map picks right now for the series, and a lot of similarities between this match and the last time you guys played. Any comments on the way you're going to handle the maps this time as opposed to last time?
Drynets has been watching the EU League, and he's been picking up some stuff from them. So we're gonna try some new stuff against Fnatic. So
all right,
it's gonna be good.
Good to see you, Son of Hail. Let's check in with Fnatic, Nagatron, team leader. Well, that was pretty decisive, Nagatron. All right, 3-0 against #RU. #RU, however, made it to the decider match. Are you feeling just pretty much super confident, super chill right now, or is the tension high for you? I mean, you look just super chill on camera.
Really, I mean, no matter which way we go, I'm not super concerned. If we were to lose this, I think we would rally. We tend to do that after we lose, and that would just kind of give us maybe better seeding. I mean, Arbiz versus Simp, it kind of depends on the day is what it looks like right now. So on that note, Son of Hail, maybe you guys want to lose this match so that you don't face Simp first. So feel free to do that if you like.
All right, Nagatron, I want to talk to you about that Waffentrager that was brought by #RU. It was dealing significant damage to your team on that hill. What was the call that was made saying push against this Waffentrager? Was it waiting for the reload? Was it waiting for the reload for the 1390? Do you care to comment on that? Were you surprised by #RU bringing that tank?
I mean, it was a little bit of a surprise, but we kind of know where it can and can't be. And one of the first things one of our guys said is it's probably going on hill because we know it does this little cheeky hold down thing there. We were a little bit slow in our rotations. I probably wasn't firm enough in my communication with the guys, so things were kind of tentative for a while. Whenever our Pershing started going down is really when it kind of hit the fan. But the side effect of that was pretty much not the Roomba or the Rhine Metal or the Waffle, whatever you want to call it. That was mostly the 1390s, and we knew that. So we knew the 1390s were clipping, our 90s were right there. Let's just push over and kill all that because the 32 and 69 couldn't help, not as much. So they kind of gave it to us at that point, but it was very close, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the second time that #RU was on that map, they decided to bring a 5100 instead of that Waffentrager, and that went into the favor of #RU. They did a lot of blind fire. Anyways, enough about that. I want to know, Fnatic, if you have any words for Hammertime before we start.
I think I already skipped to that part when I said that you should probably lose to us so that you don't play Simp in the first, and you can just brush up on RBIS, and everybody will be happy, I'm sure.
Son of Hail, any words, any response?
We're going to give you a fight. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to give you a fight.
Looking forward to it. Gentlemen, thank you. Best of luck. We'll see you on the battlefield. That's kind of a tough place to be. It's like, what do you ask a team that's undefeated, right? Like, all right, so here you are once again, poised to win.
Simp was undefeated.
You could have said the same thing against Simp yesterday. And that's the cautionary tale right now for Fnatic, is if Simp can fall, Fnatic can fall. Vice versa. Really vice versa. Nagatron hit something so key there. He was waiting for the 1390s to clip. That is when the push happened. So it wasn't just the Waffentrager, obviously. But
well, the Waffentrager doesn't really matter. He fires, he gets a reload in a few seconds anyway.
Yeah.
1390 is the key important part that you have to exploit.
Yeah. I mean, some teams that do not have that type of experience or maybe technical prowess when it comes to working as a team, calling the shots, focus fire, can be taken back a little bit by, it's got a Waffentrager, man, what do we do? Well, don't get hit by it. That's some of the...
You have to take a hit.
Yeah,
it's
some
the
of the
opposite.
mentalities.
You find a big tank, guy with the most health, get out in front, everybody else, follow. That's how you make a push. But I think Nagatron hit on another interesting point, which is the team that wins this is going to be facing Simp when it comes to the finals.
In the semifinals.
Yeah. So do you want to face Simp or do you want to face Arbis? And he said it. Depends on the day of the week. Simp, a consistently amazing team, but apparently they were off yesterday, or Arbis was just on fire. One of the two. It depends on how you look at the situation.
Wow. So if Fnatic wins,
yes,
based on seeding, then we will not have either Fnatic or Simp in the finals itself.
We could have
in
either
the grand
of two.
finals.
We won't have the two of them fighting
together
in the grand finals. Yeah. So they'll be taking that traditional head-to-head heavyweight match earlier than we're used to, and instead we'll see a team like Arbis. Maybe we'll see #RU, or maybe we'll see Hammertime in the finals.
That's
Crazy.
exciting to see. It's exciting to see. Prokhorovka will be battle number 1. Between these two teams, we move on to the winner's match. 2 more matches to go until the playoffs are over, and we know all 4 teams. We'll know one of those teams right after this match and the next one in the decider. Real kill, what do we have for tanks?
Yeah, a little bit here. T32, 2 T69s, 2 1390s, 2 T1 Cunninghams. That's Fnatic, the red team in the north. I'm going to need to get to this thing about Hammertime, though. 3 T69s, 2 1390s, 2 T1 Cunninghams. I haven't seen a 3 T69 lineup in some time. This is cool. I like this. 3 T69s brings a lot of burst, and that's awesome. 4 shells, 900 about damage in that clip, and an incredibly fast reload. Great hull down, some solid armor, not maybe T32 level, but very tricky at times because of the way it slopes around. And they're going to do something that I got to talk about a little bit earlier, which is hugging the red line and going west. They'll be able to avoid Soviet's opening scout run, I think. I think so. Yeah, Nitz is barely even in draw distance. Soviet doesn't see a thing. Doesn't see a thing, and the T1's... No, Zazi, the 1390 is in the east. Oh. Do you remember Fun Gaming pulled this strat? They played Prokhorovka. They had the south. They went into this same position Hammertime is currently in, and they got torn apart. Didn't work. And they had a 1390 out on the flank. That is the role currently being played by Zazi.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at Zazi's positioning right now.
It's a little bit of deja vu. It's a trap,
Yeah,
really, is what it is.
Trying to set that trap in that spread. However, Fnatic...
they have to kill relics. They cannot afford for him to discover this.
Yeah, he's creeping up closer and closer to the south because he hasn't seen anything yet.
Yeah.
Maybe a sacrificial run, but it's information necessary for Fnatic to make a choice.
And behind the Soviet is moving up, on the move. Jackie Rudo moving. Actually, I like this angle of approach. He can actually dive to the left if he needs to, just in case it's a trap. He's even looking to the right. Looking in the right direction in his 1390. He rides up.
Relics has to be spotted by now.
Oh, stops! Back. And he backs down. Relics ammo racked by Drynitz, and now Friction kills Nitz.
Shot fire from Jackie Rudo. No connections yet. Zazi fired 1 out of his 1390. Did not connect from long range. Drynitz has been hit.
He's in a lot of trouble. There's such great cover fire between Militant 93, Antonio Hansen, and Friction. Jackie Rudo moves up, exposes himself a little bit too much, and is punched in the face for it. Down to 861 hit points.
Drynitz falls back to where Overlord Prime, Photo Finish, and NYPD have stashed their tanks.
But they're pinned. Now, if Zazi is found, because he has fired a little bit, I think they know someone is out there. And Soviet is going to go hunting. He will find Zazi.
Crossing that open field.
But he needs to be safe about it. He has to approach in such a manner that the tanks in the southwest are going to have trouble firing at him, or have to expose themselves quite a bit in order to do so. He's also just going to try and spot some tanks, I guess. He's going to stay on the low ground. I'm pretty sure he was just lit by the T1. There's a whole lot of things that can go wrong for Fnatic right now. Hammertime is in a position to probably lose, because they have nowhere they can go. They can't set a tempo. They can't take control of this match unless they somehow peek out all at once and do something crazy. Don't think they can do that.
2 shots from Zazi towards Antonio. 1 lands.
Oh, and he's in a bit of a crossfire. Tanks from the southwest can fire on his position.
Nagatron able to scout Zazi. And that T1. And now shots towards them. There's 1 hit. Some sizzle. Another one. The double shots. Fnatic focusing on Zazi. 2 cross shots. Miss the tank. And he falls from Soviet. First tier 1 down for Hammertime.
Tier 8.
Tier 8, excuse me.
I got you, Josh.
Photo Finish. And the rest of his compatriots, Overlord Prime, NYPD, Drynitz, hanging back.
And this is where Fnatic starts to set up. Sorry to cut you off, Josh.
Sorry. Totally fine, man. We are cameramen on 2 different sides of the map. Action could be happening at the same time, which it is. Antonio Hansen gets hit for 224.
Now Nagatron is moving in on creeps. T1 fight waiting to happen. They're so close. Now Jackie Rudo is moving up, trying to scout this out, keep tanks lit. And the focus fire is interesting. Where are they looking? Who are they going for? Is the main question, because I'm not seeing damage.
Well, first there's Antonio Hansen, but then they switch to Friction. Drynance falls.
They might switch to Jackie in a moment. He's got a great angle on all of this.
He's dancing back and forth. He trades fire. Soviet's going to push in while they focus on Jackie.
He will be closing the distance. Jackie's taking a little bit of damage, and there's a lot of wasted shells. Not a whole lot of potential damage left. Soviet could just keep going up and in, but I don't think he realizes the advantage he has. Although it is a bit of a risk. They're going to move Militant in, and they're going to move Antonio Hansen in at the same time.
Overlord Prime gets hit, 234. Another shot for 475. Another one for 715. The total damage done in that volley. And they're still going to hold this position while the tanks are on the flag cap, one of them. Still more shots, concentrated fire coming from Fnatic.
And now Militant up and over the top. He's going to have the high ground advantage to just be able to unload into NYPD and Friction kills Overlord Prime. It's a slaughter, Josh.
It is. It's like shooting fish in a barrel from multiple positions, just from really, really far away.
They're fish with guns.
They are. They shoot back. NYPD falls, photo finish. Last tank alive goes down. Fnatic closes battle number 1 with the win. They used Relic so well, pushing down to that T1, scouting, waiting. Where's one of those tanks? And then, hey, there they are. Back up. They're all in the corner. There has to be one that's not there. Nagatron went and found them. It was a domino effect after Zazie fell.
It was smart play. I think Fnatic smelled that there was something up. They realized, wait a tick, we haven't seen a single tank. And they decided, you know, there's the possibility, because we've seen this strat before, that in the southwest, they will be hiding. They brought 3 T-69s. It's weird to not see them in the middle. In the east, it seems like a strange strategy for 3 T-69s to be there. Don't have a T-32, you're not going to take east side. Who would do that? You've got to have something up your sleeve. That southwest strat makes a lot of sense when you think about the lineup and you think about the way they deployed. I think Zazie probably could have played a larger role in that, and he did do a little bit of damage, but only 502. Even though he was out on the east, in potentially the backfield, where he could freely fire at people, maybe even get all the way to the north and start finding tanks and firing at them. But he was not utilized like that. A little disappointing, I think.
Yeah,
I think he could have been a bit more of a free roamer.
Well, I felt he was waiting for the free roaming of, Soviet or Jackie to come his way and to surprise him. And then once those tanks focused on his position, then the tanks in the corner could have swung around and did some focus fire, and the exposed tank focused on Zazie. Again, that's 2 or 3 steps that have to happen for that ideal scenario. But you are not getting that active scouting done. You're not trying to locate where the danger is going to be coming from. And Nagatron just zips right past going, oh, found you. Boom, 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 boom. All these shots just come right towards Zazie. It was beautiful, beautiful.
It was an excellent handling of the situation. After Soviet and Jackie took fire, they know exactly what it was. He did not shift position. Hammertime tries a cute strat, doesn't work today. Could have worked if Fnatic wasn't quite as on top of their game today. If they got lazy, if they decided and assumed their opponent's strategy too early instead of playing it safe and saying this is a possibility, that could have been a Hammertime win. They could have gotten a 1390 in an instant. They could have gotten 2 1390s in an instant if they were lucky.
Yeah, if they were lucky. Mm-hmm. The matched movements from both teams was quite a sight to see of Hammertime versus Fnatic. And both of them were shaking a little bit of the rust off in the first match that they had. We had our pregame matchup where it was a little bit more fun. It was Sim versus Fnatic in a fun type match, and they were trying to prove me wrong that T32 does not have any guns as they brought all their IS-3s. However, battle number 2 on Cliff, it's still anybody's game. Fnatic is up 1-0 against Hammertime. Rookkill, what do we have for tanks?
For tanks, we have 5 1390s for Fnatic, 2 T1s. They're the red team in the north, bringing an interesting lineup. Hammertime will have a 5100 IS-3 T69, 2 1390s, 2 T1 Cunninghams. They're much heavier than their opponent.
Yeah, much heavier, possibly a little bit much slower.
Much slower.
But that burst damage, if they're able to lock their shots, their targets, which Fnatic is so good at doing, this is a dangerous, dangerous game that Hammertime's going to be playing. NYPD and Zazie are not going for the center of the map. They're hanging back, along with Overlord Prime joining them. Photo finish, bringing up the rear in the IS-3, while Krieg's Nits and Drynits are up towards the 1-2 line.
This split from Hammertime, it confuses me. Because if Nits, Krieg's, Drynits discovered in the southwest... Oh, shots fired. NYPD takes the first hit from Jackie Rudo and Soviet. Follow-up shots do not connect. And now Fnatic recognizes their advantages. They've wasted a few shells here and there, but they have such a high ground. They can take the top of the lighthouse.
NYPD and Photo finish still holding the line together as one of those shots from Antonio Hansen bounced off the front of Photo finish. You can see the bounce off that T1 did not penetrate, but did dent the armor. And
now
Drynits takes down Relics.
Oh, what's that in the west? The 1 line, the 2 line.
That's Drynits along with Kriegs and Nits.
Oh, I see the strategy. Hammertime's playing a tricky game. They're playing head games today. They're going to set the T1s in the north. 1390 comes around to verify the flank.
Also clear any potential T1s to give Kriegs and Nits a home run.
Oh, but
really,
the overmatch is coming. We got Soviet. Friction moving in. Jackie Rudo also coming in. Drynits still on the reload, takes the first hit, and Soviet is on him.
Set isolation. Again, Friction. Soviet focus on Drynits. Soviet from behind, the weakest point of the tank. Drynits is gone.
T8 advantage in the push. A reply coming from Hammertime. They're going directly north, but they are in a crossfire. Militant 83. Free damage onto NYPD. 486 thus far. He backs up. Overlord Prime taking 449 between Jackie Rudo and Militant, and it will continue to pile up.
And Overlord Prime goes down, so does Nits. 2 of the tier 8s down for Hammertime. Jackie Rudo took a volley of fire for 514, then falls for 138 damage.
Worth it.
NYPD gets shot for 516 in the volley. He's low.
But Antonio Hansen is as well. He is down to 165 hit points. He has taken the brunt of the damage.
Friction takes out Kriegs to defend the north spot. Both T1s down now for Hammertime.
Militant 83 is moving in to the north. Soviet is almost loaded. He is loaded. Militant 83 as well. It's very easy for them to begin the engagement now. Nagatron does go down in the T1, but he lights a bunch of things up, and plenty of damage can begin coming in.
Militant 83 takes down NYPD. He explodes. Photo finish gets hit. Militant last, tier 8. In this side of the map, but the rest of his team is coming to help. Militant falls. Oh, big bounce coming from 1390. And now from up top, Antonio Hansen. Soviet cruises in, so does Friction. The cleanup crew is here. Photo finish, last tank alive for Hammertime. 1 shot away, he goes down. Fnatic puts battle number 2 on the board in their favor, and they're up 2-0 against Hammertime.
Cleanly as well. This is not looking like a very difficult match at this point. Fnatic is handling the situation excellently, and Hammertime is trying to set something up that is cute, clever, sneaky, even.
Effective.
Could have been effective.
If Drynits was faster at getting back or initiating the fight in the north and then the rest of the tanks pushing up. That's a big what if. It's hindsight 2020. But once they scouted the T1, the T1s were not alone, the 1390, it became almost a no-brainer for Fnatic to go find Drynits and get the kill.
With such a mobile 1390 lineup, you know your opponent cannot follow this up. 1390 is going to the west. The heavy tanks are still in the southeast. There's no way they're going to catch up. They can try, but because Fnatic recognizes they only need 2 tanks to guarantee this kill safely, they can leave 2 guys on the high ground. That's Militant 83, and that's Jackie Rudo. They have a crossfire on the entire south approach. And from the top of the lighthouse, you have yet another tank able to do that. We're looking right now. Militant 83, Jackie Rudo is to his southwest currently, and they're able to put out free damage. Hammertime has no real response. They're on the move. They do not fire as accurately. Everything went right for Fnatic, and they exploited every weakness of their opponent.
That they did. Fnatic is good at doing that. Finding those weaknesses. And Hammertime was not showing enough of those weaknesses the first time that they met, which is why it went to all 5 battles. This time Fnatic is looking so good. So good. So clean.
Yeah.
And you don't say that. I mean, I don't mean that in comparison, like, well, they've been looking like really, really badly. That's not what I mean. But this is still impressive because this is why Fnatic does so well.
Mm-hmm.
And this type of aggression, pinpoint accuracy, pinpoint focus fire is what made them champions in Season 1 and Season 2.
Yeah, and aggression, it seems like. They're back on that kind of an aggression trail instead of being completely passive. Or it could be the fact that they're able to see these weaknesses and react to them perfectly. Ents could be a different story. This is traditionally a slightly slower map. We'll have to see if Hammertime can slow it down and try and take momentum back into their favor.
All right. Battle number 3 between Fnatic and Hammertime is about to begin on Ensk. Rookkill, what do we have for tanks?
For tanks, we have 3 AMX 5100s, 2 IS3s, and 2 T1 Cunninghams. For Fnatic, they're the red team in the south. On the other side, Hammertime, the blue team in the north, 3 5100s, 2 IS3s, a medium 1, and a T1 Cunningham. I think Hammertime have picked something up from Refuse to Die.
Hey, that medium 1. Kriegs, why not? Why not?
It's a cute idea. We'll see if they can use it to do the cap fast.
Well, Hammertime talked about this with Refuse to Die in the conversation document that I have with all the teams, that this medium 1 is not that much of a surprise, or it was either them or Cunningham's. That it's used, the type of tactic that we saw from Refuse to Die, or its placement, is used in Europe, in other regions.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It's a big tank. You can use it to shield your other tank. Possibly a hull down for the right vehicle, like a 5100, maybe. It has potential uses. However, the T1's always been a staple because of its flexibility. Mobility, potential damage against other T1s, how much it can actually do to a tier 8 like a 5100. And to 1390s. Saw that yesterday.
Yep.
Fedge getting that kill.
That was incredible. Incredible. One of my favorite moments.
Medium 1, I'm not sure it can do quite the same. It seems like it has a single-shot consistent fire gun.
You can find that moment that happened with Fej and Simp moving on to the finals on YouTube, youtube.com/WGLNA. The VOD has been uploaded. Big thanks to Dan Actually Shakes Morris.
But to get back to the game, guys, there is a push coming from Hammertime. They're moving their entire group from the north to the south. Medium 1 making his way ever so slowly towards the enemy cap. And we could see a cap fast coming out of Hammertime, but it appears to me that Fnatic is prepared. They have Friction not far away, Militant 83 and Nagatron slightly to the north. To the west of that position, Relics is in a strong proxy position watching the backfield. Antonio Handsome very easily can flex back to cap. Jackie Rudo and Soviet might even have shots across their own cap into their opponents if they get spotted out in that direction. Soviet, of course, right now looking up the 1 line to cover that approach. Actually, wait. That is a thin angle. Nice position. It's actually got a shot just between the buildings. I love that. Absolutely perfect. It's the kind of stuff I like to see. Those little angles that people figure out.
You remember how we talked about Ensk and Fnatic? That 3-minute push.
Oh,
how incredible that was.
The River of Blood one that they made? Early in the season when River of Blood pushed up from the north and they had the south position and they just kind of exploded on them? Ah, yes, that one.
That 3-minute timing. Well, Fnatic is set up in a similar type fashion, but look at the T1 placement. Golf 1 and Golf 4.
Yeah, proxy spotting. Nagatron was in the position Relics currently holds, and I can't remember where Relics was, but he may have been in about this position.
You were talking about that crack in the wall.
Yeah, you can just hide right in one of those corners, proxies out very easily. Relics just about in that position.
I was looking at it, those positions in relation to Hammertime, studying Hammertime's star pattern happening right now with Photo Finish and Overlord Prime waiting for any tanks across the train tracks.
Look at NYPD, actually, real quick.
Sure.
And see that he actually has an angle to fire upon the position currently held by Militant 83. We've seen this in the past, where a tank all the way out there can actually see into this direction. Right through that window. See that? NYPD can actually fire upon Militant 83 right now, if he so chooses. Gotta get the outline for you guys.
So far away.
It's just the turret at 5100 peaks out.
Well, he's waiting to get reloaded here.
Yep.
And
Once he's-
NYPD is loaded. Does he take the shot?
He
Nope,
leaves.
he moves.
Okay, deciding not today? Okay. That thanks NYPD. He had a lot of potential in there. Well, maybe not. Especially with Militant's current position. Shots are being fired though. And I see a trading between maybe Friction and Creeks. Friction backing up, reverse angling, and I see shots fired coming around. But no huge changes out of Fnatic right now. No huge shifts. We've got plenty of buildings and train cars being destroyed, making it harder and harder for Hammertime to find cover. You can see that some of the train has been destroyed already, allowing for shots to go into the tops of turrets instead of having to go right below the trains. There is a small gap below all the trains, by the way. You can fire under those if you get the right distance and you play the angle right.
Just past the 5-minute mark. No real resets happening here. Still some fire heading towards Militant from Overlord Prime. No connections yet.
Soon. Soon TM.
Another shot to Militant. Fnatic can hold against Hammertime and wait. Shot fired from Militant to Overlord, does not connect.
And here, this could be the push. Creeks is moving up. Overlord Prime photo finish moving to the south. Nitz is moving across. And Friction doesn't see a single thing. Militant might though, and he fires, but he takes 455 himself from photo finish. Good timing.
A nice shot coming from Jackie Rudo against Overlord. Continue that reset as two of the tanks are now on the flag cap. Nitz further away.
Oh, Militant is taking way too much damage at this point. And there's a flank from the north. NYPD and Zazie will have cover. They can take down the T1s to prevent the counter cap.
Nagatron is able to spot that though with a sacrificial movement. And Friction and Overlord Prime. Overlord Prime took a shot from behind, I think, from a teammate. Jackie Rudo takes the kill, but Jackie Rudo falls next. Tier 8 down for both sides. Kriegs is falling. Drynitz gets hit to the side, trying to fall back. Soviet hits again. Beautiful shots from Soviet.
666 total, but they have to stop the cap. There is 1:09 left, but Nitz is in beautiful cover. Right now, he is completely hidden, and HE Shell could connect on him, but otherwise it's very difficult for them to do that. Militant 83 goes down to NYPD.
Trade happening on both sides. Shot was a track shot. Is that M1 is guarding Nitz for so much. And photo finish falls back to get off the flag cap. Soviet and Friction know they have to take down Nitz. They fire on the move. Soviet takes down Drynitz. 16 seconds left. Friction has got to get there in time.
Just a little bump.
Just a little bump.
No, it's not actually doing anything. He's just going to push him.
Just a little bump. Get him off. He gets him off just in time. He gets the kill. Oh, 4 seconds left on that. And now photo finish and Zazie are up against Antonio Handsome, who's up top with relics in the T1.
Yep.
This could be a trade, however.
No, it's not going to be. 6 seconds left against...
It could be a draw.
11, 10, 9. No.
This could draw out.
I don't think so.
Yep, there's a 7-second gap. We have to wait. We have to wait and see if a base has been captured on both sides. Base captured on Fnatic. Will the base capture on Hammertime? Bib says base captured is on Hammertime. Should be a draw. Waiting for it.
Got to come and see the post game to see.
Waiting. It's a draw.
Okay.
It is a draw. Whew. Oh, man. Okay. Hammertime is still staying in the fight.
They're holding on.
Nitz behind the medium one. Hiding behind that tank was huge. Huge in that battle.
Fnatic decides to go for the counter cap pressure instead of stay and fight. They go for a counter flank even on the tanks in the north. You saw that was NYPD and perhaps Zazie. I can't remember which of the 5100s was up there, but they end up moving down south. I think it may have been NYPD. Yeah, it was Zazie with him. The two of them, just a hit squad from the north, did so much damage to Fnatic tanks that they decided to go for a counter flank, and it ends up being a cap race. Very interesting and a good stop by Friction, saving the battle, allowing it to go to a draw. Otherwise, it would have been a Hammertime victory. Absolutely.
He was trying to push the tank off the flag cap. Like, go, go, go.
Yeah.
And then finally he was loaded and took the shot.
I was afraid. I was thinking for a moment that he was going to die on the way and not be able to stop the cap. I saw Soviet going for it. He would have had the ram and not had to waste a single shell on it. I don't think he was loaded anyway, but he dies on the way, and I'm half expecting another shell to come in streaming a second later and just finish him off. Not quite. But Jackie Rudo and, Antonio Handsome and Relics, heads-up play to get the cap.
It was.
The only way for Hammertime to win is to go to Sand River. That's it.
They have to get 2 wins after this in order to take it to Sand River.
This could be the match, that could be the battle to throw this back into their momentum. It hurts Fnatic a little bit. They're not quite as confident maybe coming off of that, or they could be fired up saying, I cannot believe we just let them fast cap. Let's go punch the faces in with tanks.
That anger. Well, Steps will be battle number 4 between these 2 teams. And I've always enjoyed, and I remember when it happened, I think it was last year at the tournament at PAX Prime that Fnatic was there.
Yeah, they were.
And they pushed to Steps and they took the flag cap.
And a fast cap?
I'm pretty sure it was a fast cap.
Cute.
It's quite intriguing. Now, again, I can't remember if it was that tournament or if it happened during the WGLNA season 2, which would have took place. Yeah, it was about season 2 when that would have took place. It was around that time that was happening.
The tournament took forever to get from its beginning phase to the finals. I competed in the early stages of that NVIDIA tournament.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
It was a long, long time. It was a long night, too. There was a lot of matches, international teams. Na'Vi took it in the end.
No surprise.
It was them against Lemming Train. Lemming Train brought 3 T-32s to Steps, and they beat Na'Vi on that map. It's quite impressive. All right, here we go. What do we have for tanks, Rookkill?
All right. Red team spawning in the north. Fnatic has a Pershing, 2 T-69s, 2 1390s, 2 T-1 Cunninghams. Hammertime, the blue team in the south. Object 416, 4 1390s, 2 T-1 Cunninghams.
And Object 416 being driven by Photo Finish. And look at Fnatic's placement, not going towards the East Valley, but trying to meet the aggression, perhaps from Hammertime.
I think Jackie Rudo may have just spotted Zazzy. Zazzy dipping down and taking a return run. Jackie takes 1 shot at him, but no connection. And I believe Antonio Hansen, Militant, and Friction did not go spotted. This is similar to the opening we saw from Fnatic when they played earlier.
On Steps against #RU.
Yeah. Similar opening, except this time their opponent is not doing... we used to do this strat with IS-7, so we saw with #RU a while back, where you just go right across the open field. The timings were such that with heavy tanks and stuff, they wouldn't make it in time, and IS-7s were fast enough. It was cute to see it with 1390s. Kind of nostalgic feeling when I saw it.
Well, Hammertime is switching their placement, now going towards the north on the eastern side. NYPD leading that charge.
And Drynitz is scouting very far out of the way.
Really far.
Soviet could go try and take him on if he wanted to. Well, not anymore, probably. The window's closing for that kind of an one-on-one engagement. And now we have the east side going to Hammertime. They will have that control instead of Fnatic, who could have taken it and tried to sit on it, turning it into a bit of a draw situation. But no. Instead, Hammertime has that advantage. And I think that actually helps Hammertime in many ways, because they can start a real engagement. The hills, I think, to the west, in the northwest portion of the map currently held by Fnatic, can be so dynamic and in some ways unpredictable if a brawl goes the wrong way. Some tanks won't be able to get shots on certain targets, and if the right positioning happens, everything goes out the window for Fnatic. Same thing can happen.
Oh, nice shot from Antonio Handsome into NYPD.
Nice.
Stuck his head out a little bit too long, and Antonio Handsome able to land that shot here pretty quickly. And he goes for the reload automatically.
Yep. Antonio knows he's not going to get another opportunity like that very soon, so he might as well reload and prepare for some kind of push. It's a good habit when you recognize as an autoloader, especially at T69, that you are not going to be able to engage with anything before you can actually finish a full cycle of your reload. Might as well go do it. Enter the next engagement full shells. It's more difficult when you have something like a 1390 or 5100, but it's still something that every autoloader player should be conscious of. Be it a T1 Cunningham, be it a Waffentrager. Always be aware. And by Waffentrager, I mean E101 tier 10, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Just always be aware of that timing and those windows of opportunity, because you want to begin any engagement with every single shell up in your autoloader. Trying it, Zazi, Overlord Prime moving right down the middle.
Photo Finish took down Nagatron, which will take away some of the scouting that's happening down the No Man's Road, where Drynet's, Zazi, and Overlord Prime have put themselves in that Echo and Foxtrot area. But using these rocks as cover, not fully committing yet to keep themselves too exposed to the Fnatic position. 5 minutes and 57 seconds. Why is Hammertime putting these tanks in this position? Because this is a must-win scenario for this team.
Yep, they're going to move in with a screening position. You can see the tanks currently in the middle of the map. Foxtrot 5, Echo 5, they will move north. They will attempt to grab the attention of Fnatic, I believe, and with that they will put cap pressure on from the east. Also push on over and cover those tanks from the east in a hull down, perhaps Photo Finish, and I think NYPD will do that. Now Drynets moves in alone?
He goes alone. He goes first.
That's risky. I can see Jackie Rudo, Soviet poised, well just Soviet now, poised in the north. Jackie Rudo moving to regroup with the team. Soviet maybe holding back just in case for some crossfire potential. He may join the team as they group up, a full 5 ready for a team fight. Jackie going back. Okay, Fnatic is making a lot of decisions right now, saying where do we need to be, what do we need to be ready for, and they're figuring out what Hammertime is doing. They're going kind of through that same process as you guys hear me going through. Okay, you go, rejoin the group, make it a full 5. No, let's not make it a full 5. Let's stay poised for crossfire. That's the plan, and then they settle on it. Jackie may be getting restless, or they could be trying to shift position constantly to make it unpredictable. Kind of just, you know, find the ball in the cup.
Yep. Keep them guessing.
Yes.
Don't stay in one position too long. Guerrilla type warfare. Drynets fires 3 times out of a 6-shot drum. No connections towards relics. 4 minutes, 13 seconds for Hammertime to get a win. Goes to a draw. Fnatic wins the series.
What is Drynets firing at? He's firing into the bushes.
Just at the bushes, but there's nothing there from Fnatic.
Just a little bit off. Relics is not in that position. He is, in fact, slightly to the west of that, inside of a bush on the other side of the tracks. He will be very difficult to find, even though his spotting potential is much more limited. Drynets, though, gotta give him credit for trying to find the correct angle. Now he's gonna go over. He's not loaded, and he's gonna try and scout.
But Kriegs and Nits are backing up, staying in that one position, while Drynets still holding. Three minutes and 19 seconds. This is do or die for Hammertime. Overlord Prime waiting for Drynets to call the move. 3 minutes. Zazi around the corner. Next to the rocks, trying to stay hidden. And here's the move.
That's it. All right. What is the trigger that makes them decide this, though? It's got to be desperation. Friction, moving on up, is going to have a cover shot. Perhaps he can put damage on Zazi or Overlord Prime. It would give him enough of an advantage, but Fnatic is somewhat spread out. And we've even got Jackie Rudo. Jackie Rudo is going to be out of the fight. This is going to be a 5v4. No, he stops and turns around. He may be able to get back into the fight in time, but if this becomes a full-on engagement, Antonio Handsome, Friction, and Militant are a little bit split apart, and that could lead to an overmatch by Hammertime as they roll in on Friction.
One bounce. Zazi and Overlord Prime try to fire into Friction. They land one, but the amount of damage towards Zazi is significant. But these 1390s want to take down Friction. He's going to back up. The terrain saving his life.
And now Jackie Rudo comes in. Soviet will be there shortly. A nice ram by Jackie. They will take down Overlord Prime and Zazi.
And Soviet takes him down. Jackie Rudo falls to Drynets. 2 more shots against Drynets, and he will go down. There's one. Do I see 2? There's 2. Soviet gets that kill. 2 tier 8s. 1 tier 8 left alive. Photo finish. Can't run, you can't hide. 40 seconds left on that flag cap, though, for those tanks. Photo finish takes down Friction. Soviet has 1 shot left. Militant 83 still on the reload, almost ready to finish off. Oh, Soviet misses a shot against Photo. There's 1 shot, there's 2. Waiting for a 3rd and a 4th to take down Photo. He's going to turn around, drift a little bit, and Antonio Hansen doesn't get it. Militant does. Nitz and Kriegs on the flag cap, 15 seconds left, but here comes Soviet rolling in to get the kills. Campfire goes for, Jukes. 5 seconds. They need to get damage against these tanks.
Yeah, okay, there it is.
Barely gets it. Barely gets it. This is how you try to juke, though, when you're still alive as these T1s, but damage was coming in. Militant 83 is reloaded. They killed the 2 tanks, and that does it. Fnatic wins. Fnatic moves on to the